Welcome back, everybody, to Tyson's Tennis Tips, and our predictions videos are back for the year, back with a bang, and Jaya has joined us again. The two of us will be giving you our predictions for the upcoming Australian Open 2022 in Melbourne, Australia. Jaya, let's go straight into it. Men's prediction outright winner. Who are you going for?
Well, Sam, I'm going for a very informed player at the moment, and that is Alexander Zverev. He won in Turin at the end of last year, so I think he's got a lot of confidence. He started pretty well, winning some matches at the ATP Cup, and I think he's going to be dangerous under the sun at Melbourne.
Absolutely, and he had a really strong year, didn't he? Last year, he did very well, if I recall, in the World Tour Finals. At the end of the year, and he's going to bring that form hopefully into the Australian Open. I mean, Jai, what is it about Zverev's game, do you think, that's going to, what do you fancy about it that's going to take him all the way and win the Australian Open?
Well, I think you're looking at two of the most important shots in tennis, which is the serve and the return, in my opinion. I think he's got one of the best in both departments. I mean, we know so much about his serve and the speed that he hits his serve and how he picks his spots really well and gets a lot of free points off his serve, aces, and then getting onto his forehand after the first shot. But also his return. I don't think we talk about his return enough either. He's someone that is able to neutralize the ball really well off the serve, and on such a fast surface that's going to be at the Australian Open. I think this is going to be vital. If he doesn't want to play lots of tie breaks. So yeah, I see him going all the way, Sam.
Exciting stuff. We're looking forward to seeing how he gets on, and he's got some really good rivalries going on right now, hasn't he, Zverev? Just talk to us, Jaya, a little bit about who you see his big rivalries being with, and whether, and how he can get past them.
Well, I think we've seen that he has the most trouble against Medvedev. We've seen he's got a little rivalry with Tsitsipas, but for me, I think the big one is Medvedev. He's often found it very tricky to play against Medvedev.
Yeah.
He's a very unorthodox player. He plays with a lot of different sorts of spins, flat shots, spin. He has an interesting serve. So I think Medvedev is someone that he's always struggled with, and he hasn't quite figured out a winning formula to play against him. So it's going to be interesting if they match up maybe at the later rounds in the Australian Open, and who knows. But I feel like Zverev has the edge over Medvedev at the moment. I think he's had time, especially in Turin, to have played him there, to start working out a bit of a game plan and seeing where he can improve on and where he can win more points against Medvedev.
Well, you heard it there, Jaya's outright prediction on the men's side. And Jaya has mentioned another player, Medvedev, and he is who I am backing to win the Australian Open coming up very soon. So the reasons, as I say, for me with Medvedev is his resilience, his ability to just not be fazed by anything. We've had lots been going on with Djokovic recently, and it's going to be interesting to see whether he plays and how he finds it. But with Medvedev, I feel like he likes being the villain. He's somebody, he can play to the crowd, but he's not fussed if the crowd is on his side. He gets by with his raw talent and his just unorthodox style. And Jaya, he is who I'm backing to win the Australian Open on the men's side. Daniel Medvedev.
Sam, I'm interested to know, what do you think Medvedev needs to do at the Australian Open to go all the way this year and win the tournament outright? Is there something he has to change in his game, or do you think he has the winning formula right from the get-go?
I'd like to see him push up the court a little bit more. So I think if he can approach the net, we know hard courts are naturally a lot faster, but yeah, if he can move up the court, get to the net a little bit more. We know he's got such variety to his game, which every top player needs for sure, but Medvedev really has got that. So for me, it's moving up the court. It's attacking at the right times. He's got great defensive shots from the baseline. He can neutralize the ball very well, which is going to cause major problems for the opponents who he faces. For me, though, yeah, moving up the court, Jaya, would be a big thing. If he can come in, put his volleys away, that's going to be another weapon in his armory, and another way I feel he is going to go all the way and win the Australian Open. Let's move on then to the women's side. Emma Raducanu has been spoken about quite a bit. She's been, obviously, we know how fantastic she was at the back end of last season, winning the US Open, and it's going to be interesting to see how she goes. Jaya, women's outright prediction. Who are you going for?
Sam, I'm going for Amanda Anisimova, someone who has come into good recent form, winning the Melbourne Somerset 2, which is her first title in Australia. So she's going to get used to the conditions very quickly. And I feel like in her game, she hasn't got the biggest serve in the game, but she's very consistent, and she will make her opponents make the error first. And because she's got that consistency, she can rally, she can go all day long. But when it comes to rallying from the baseline, I feel like she's got it all.
And Anisimova, again, we look at her as a player, recent times, how well she's done. Similar question back, Jai. Is there anything that you feel like she has to sort of change, adapt in her game to get her to the latter stages of the Australian Open and potentially, after hearing you, go on and win it?
There are a few things, Sam. For me, it's similar to what you said with Medvedev. I'd like to see her pushing up the court. She already has a very tight hold to the baseline when she rallies from the back. But I'd like to use that. I'd like to see her use that to her advantage and actually push forward even more, come in, finish points to the net, because we know how testing the conditions can be in Australia. And to have the game style that she has and go all the way to win, I think it's going to be a long slog just playing from the base. I'd like to see her shortening points, taking the initiative and coming forwards. I want to just mention that she's only 20 years old. And we've seen Emma Raducanu winning at 18 the US Open, so it has been done before. She's coming in with pretty much nothing to lose, and I think that can be very dangerous against some of the top-ranked players. They don't want to play these younger players.
True. Jai, do you want to hear who I've gone for on the women's
I'd
side?
love to hear, Sam. Go for
Paula Badosa, the young Spanish player who broke in to the World Tour finals at the end of last season, making that elusive top 8. And she is the player who I am backing to win the Australian Open. A bit of a wild card, some would say. I know you were surprised yourself when you heard that prediction earlier today. But I just feel that her time is really coming. And we look at players in form. She is certainly in form. No one can argue against her. And she is being quietly spoken about for being one of the players who many feel will reach the latter stages of the Australian Open. Will she win it? Okay, big call from me there, but I am backing the 24-year-old from Spain to go all the way in Australia.
Yeah, Sam, that's someone who I'm not so familiar with. So how would you describe her game style?
She's got a great all-round game style. Her stamina is incredible. You know, she's relentless in terms of getting that ball back in play, peppering the ball near the baseline, big two-handed backhand as well. And as I say, she fights for everything, and that is what you need in Australia with the heat, the conditions. I think that the crowd will really warm to her as well. We know how popular the Spanish players are across the world. To be fair, Australia will be no exception. So I just feel like that part of her game will really push her all the way through and until the end. And she did really well. She had, she won the Indian Wells last year, which we know is on a hard court. She made the WTA semi-finals as well. So she is somebody to watch out for. And as I say, it is a big call for everyone watching at home. Will she go all the way? One to keep an eye on for sure. Paula Badosa. Don't forget the name. Jaya, we have to give a special mention to Emma Raducanu. Neither of us have put her as our outright winner. Just a quick note on her. How do you see her getting on? Prediction on how far she'll get in the tournament?
It's going to be interesting, Sam. Obviously, she hasn't had the best results going into 2022 so far. But again, it's still very early in the year. I don't necessarily see her making it through many rounds at the Australian Open, I'm sad to say. But There's a long year ahead, lots of spells in the year to build up confidence. She's pairing with this new coach, so hopefully things go smoothly with that and she can start to find some form again. But I just feel with her, it's I think she's in that stage where the win has sunk in from the US Open, and she sort of hit that reality check, and she just needs to push through this, keep going, keep doing the right things, keep doing the training, and she'll be back on the big stage, I think, very soon.
Absolutely. I think if she can get to the last 16, that would be a huge triumph. Fourth round would be a great performance as well in Australia. We'll see how she gets on. So, Jaya, for everyone watching, do you mind just recapping your men's and women's outright winner in Melbourne, Australia?
Yeah, so for the men's, I'm going for Alexander Zverev, the German, and on the women's side, Amanda Anisimova at 20 years of age, going for her first Grand Slam title.
Huge call, huge call. We'll see how both of those get on. Just to recap, my predictions on the men's side, it's Daniel Medvedev, and on the women's side, it is Paula Badosa. We'll see how those two get on, plus obviously Jaya's players as well. For everyone at home, please leave your comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Who are you backing to win the Australian Open? How will Raducanu get on? Will Djokovic be there? Will he be playing? Still questions unanswered. Drama as we kick off 2022. We'll leave it there for today's video. Please give us a subscribe if you are new to the channel. As always, a thumbs up would be great on the video to help us reach more tennis fans out there. For now, though, the two of us are buzzing for the Australian Open to begin. We will be back for some more videos soon. In the meantime, Jaya, thank you as always. We'll see you soon.